Check it out, they go slide.
One of Sony's ICE team programmers named Court Stratton, who's one of the senior people on the team, he tweeted, "Finally wrote that ASM I was looking forward to. Early results, PS4 surface tiling and detailing on the CPU is 10 to 100 times faster now. Sim delicious." That's the tweet. Before you flip out, before you think this is the entire console magically somehow becoming faster, it's not. It is one aspect of the console that's going to be useful in a few more intense games, becoming easier for the console to do. What detiling and tiling is so every game has interactions for the CPU and interactions for the GPU. An interaction for the CPU, tiling and detailing, which is what this is, would be building the mesh of an area, building the mesh of the buildings, characters, whatever's on scene. None of the lighting effects, none of, the texture resolution. It's building the mesh, and the GPU calculates and throws textures and lighting around and shadows and all that. So, if you were playing a game, even though the PS4 will never run this, like StarCraft 2, making the tiling and detailing better is going to take some load off of the CPU that was doing tiling and detailing and make it better, giving it, more room for calculation, which will make it not, hiccup and drop as hard in CPU-intensive scenes. So that's pretty good. The CPU-induced stutter and the CPU-induced lag on the PS4 will be less now. It will not be gone. It is an 8-core, but it's only 1.8 gigahertz, and it's basically a mobile processor, so it's not that great. But it will be lessened, which is good. I'm not going to be all butthurt about it and be angry and try to deny that it's a performance increase. The performance increase probably isn't going to be that big in a lot of single-player games, but in some situations, and especially later down the road when we're demanding more stuff on the screen and we're demanding, more players and more people in the game, this is going to be very helpful in helping the PS4 age more gracefully. So instead of having to simplify all the bump mapping, and instead of having to simplify character models and simplify buildings and tone down building destruction and stuff, you can actually handle some things as we go forward with the consoles. That's good. But what I'm concerned about people thinking now is that this means the PS4 can now handle every game 1080p, 60 FPS no matter what, because, the programming made it 100 times faster. That's not how it works. Like I said, you're dealing with the meshes, you're dealing with the physics, you're dealing with, nothing graphical. The texture resolution, the lighting, the shadows, After Effects, post-processing, anti-aliasing, anisotropic filtering, all of that still needs to be handled by the GPU, and this doesn't affect the GPU whatsoever. So unless you can find some way to make that 8-core magically become a GPU, which is physically fucking impossible unless you want to have, -1 frames a second in every game forever, it's not going to happen. So the physics can stay complex, but I still am worried about the PS4 aging in the way of texture resolution and just overall stuff that isn't the fucking meshes, basically. Because if CPU-related tasks keep getting optimized, and the physics engines get better, and tiling and detailing get better, the meshes get better, polygons get better, it's like you've got a professional sketcher drawing the lines, and then a toddler with a pack of crayons struggling to fill it in. As always, I'm totally open to your opinion. Do you think that that actually did make the GPU 100% faster, even though it's a CPU task? Do you think that reduced load on the CPU magically makes the GPU faster? Just tell me